Most teachers lose their students before the first bell stops ringing. They believe engagement is a slow build, but the clock is actually screaming. You have exactly 60 seconds to capture attention, or spend 40 minutes fighting for it. The battle for the classroom starts much earlier than you think. When you start a lesson with administrative clutter or generic greetings, the brain simply switches off. Students enter your room with mental fog from their previous hour. If you do not pierce that fog immediately, they will drift into a state of passive resistance that is nearly impossible to break. Starting weak makes every subsequent minute feel like an uphill struggle against gravity. You are forced to repeat instructions, manage behaviors, and plead for focus. This exhausting cycle is not a student problem. It is a structural failure of the opening sequence. You must change how the momentum begins today. The opening 60 seconds are your hook, your bridge, and your contract with the learners. It is the moment you signal that this time is valuable and different. If you nail this window, the next 40 minutes flow with a natural internal drive. It is about precision, not just loud energy. Every lesson follows one of two paths. You either lead the students into a structured environment of discovery, or you allow them to wander into a maze of distraction. The choice is made in the transition. Your opening sets the trajectory for every single word that follows after the introduction. Impactful teachers understand that psychology outweighs pedagogy in the first minute. You are not just teaching content, you are managing a social environment. By creating a vacuum of curiosity, you force the students to lean in.
They must feel that missing the opening means missing something truly essential and unique. Think of your opening as the master key to the student's cognitive engagement. Without it, the door to deep learning remains firmly bolted. We often focus on the conclusion, but the entry point dictates the depth of the entire journey. Your first 60 seconds will define the ultimate success of your teaching. We are going to break down the anatomy of a perfect 60-second opening. This is a repeatable system you can use regardless of your subject or grade level. It requires discipline, timing, and a refusal to be generic. Prepare to audit your current habits against this high-performance framework right now. Step 1 is the invisible admin rule. Never start your lesson with attendance, homework collection, or logistical complaints. These are momentum killers that signal boredom. Move these tasks to the middle of the hour or use a silent system. Your first spoken words must be pure, high-octane teaching content. The threshold presence is your first physical move. Stand at the front, centered, and remain silent until every eye is on you. This creates a powerful tension that demands focus without you saying a word. Silence is your most effective tool for establishing immediate authority and total environmental control. Once silence is achieved, drop the hook question. This is not a review question. It is a provocative challenge or a mystery. It should make the students realize they have a gap in their knowledge. A well-placed question creates a mental itch that only your lesson can scratch effectively. Consider the high-stakes scenario. Present a problem that needs an immediate solution. For example, show them a bridge collapsing or a financial market crashing. Tell them that by the end of this period, they will have the specific skills to prevent this disaster. You are giving them a mission. Another strategy is the counterintuitive fact. Start by stating something that sounds impossible or goes against common sense. When you challenge their existing worldview in the first 30 seconds, the brain enters an active state of cognitive dissonance. They will stay focused simply to see how you prove it. Contrast is the language of clarity. Show them the before and after of the skill you are teaching. If they cannot see the value of the destination, they will not endure the journey of the lesson. You must make the right way look desirable and the wrong way painful. Build the context bridge. Briefly connect the hook to what they already know. This prevents the opening from feeling like a random gimmick. You are showing them that today's knowledge is the logical next step in their personal growth and mastery of the subject matter. Now deliver the roadmap. Tell them exactly 3 things they will achieve. Do not provide a long list. 3 is the cognitive limit for immediate retention. This gives the students a sense of security and progress. They know where they are going and how they will get there. You must answer the silent question every student is asking. Why should I care? Translate the curriculum into a personal benefit.
Frame the lesson as a superpower or a tool for their future. If the benefit is not clear by the 60-second mark, you have already lost them. Let's compare this to the old way. The old way is open your books to page 54. This signals that the teacher is a functionary of the textbook. The new way signals that the teacher is a leader of an expedition. One invites boredom, the other invites adventure. Many teachers fear that being theatrical is unprofessional. However, there is a massive difference between entertainment and engagement. Entertainment is passive. Engagement is active participation. Your 60-second opening is about setting the conditions for work, not providing a show. It is professional energy used with specific intent. Precision in the opening leads to precision in the execution. When the students see that you have planned the first minute to the second, they respect your time. This respect translates into better behavior and higher quality work. You are modeling the level of excellence you expect from them. Watch your tone and tempo. The opening 60 seconds should be delivered with a slightly higher cadence and a firm melodic authority. Avoid and at all costs.
This is your State of the Union address for the classroom. Every syllable must carry weight and purpose. A strong opening creates an engagement shield. It protects the lesson from outside distractions. When students are deeply hooked within the first minute, the latecomer or the hallway noise has less power to disrupt the flow. You have created a mental zone that is difficult to leave or break. Do not make the opening too easy. The brain ignores what it already masters. Start with a challenge that sits just at the edge of their ability. This triggers a release of dopamine when they finally solve it later. You are preparing their neurochemistry for the hard work ahead. High stakes drive high focus. If the lesson feels like an optional suggestion, students will treat it as such. If the opening frames the content as a life-saving skill or a critical piece of a larger puzzle, the stakes are raised. Your job is to make the unimportant feel vital. The opening also changes how the students see themselves. By treating them as capable of solving complex problems immediately, you raise their self-efficacy. They aren't just students anymore, they are investigators, engineers, or strategists. This identity shift is the most powerful engagement tool in your entire teaching arsenal. Connection is the final part of the opening 60 seconds.
You must connect with the eyes of your students. Move your gaze across the room. Make individual eye contact. This non-verbal handshake confirms that you see them and you are ready to lead them towards today's goal. Complexity is not the enemy. Boredom is. You can introduce complex ideas in the first minute if they are framed correctly. Never dumb down your opening. Instead, sharpen your delivery. The more sophisticated the start, the more serious the students will take the rest of the period. Stop using phrases like, "Today we are going to learn about." This is the most generic opening in history. Instead, use, "By the time you walk out that door, you will possess the power to." The focus shifts from the activity to the transformation of the student. Think of your classroom as a theatre of the mind. The first 60 seconds are the rising curtain. If the curtain rises to a messy stage and a confused actor, the audience leaves. If it rises to a sharp, focused, and intentional scene, the audience is captivated until the end. You are the conductor. The opening is your first downbeat. It sets the tempo, the mood, and the volume for the entire performance. If the first beat is off, the whole symphony fails. Practice your first 60 seconds as much as you practice your core content delivery. Let us review the 60-second shift. By eliminating admin, establishing presence, launching a hook, and defining the roadmap, you have transformed the classroom energy. You have moved from a manager of behavior to a leader of learning. This is the difference between a job and a craft. The next 40 minutes are no longer a struggle. Because you won the first minute, the students are now working with you, not against you. The friction has been replaced by flow. You will find yourself teaching more deeply and with significantly less personal exhaustion by the end. This isn't just about control. It's about neural pathways. You are literally preparing the brain to receive and store information more effectively. Engagement is the physiological gatekeeper of memory. If you want them to remember what you taught, you must first make them want to learn it. The difference between a good teacher and a master teacher often comes down to these tiny windows of time. Masters realize that the margins matter. They don't leave the opening to chance. They design it with the same rigor they apply to a final exam or project. You now have the framework to dominate your next lesson. You understand the psychology of the hook, the power of silence, and the necessity of the roadmap. The tools are in your hands. The only thing left to do is commit to the 60-second standard. Imagine walking into your room tomorrow with this level of intent. No more fumbling for papers. No more shouting for quiet. Just a sharp, focused,
An entry that commands respect.
This is how you reclaim your classroom and your passion for teaching others every day. Leadership is a choice made in the smallest moments. When you decide to own the first 60 seconds, you are choosing to lead your students to a better version of themselves. You are proving that education is an event worth their absolute best attention and effort. Go back to your lesson plan for tomorrow. Find the first 60 seconds. Delete the admin. Insert a hook. Script your first 3 sentences. Do not leave this to chance. Your next 40 minutes depend entirely on what you do in the first 60 seconds of that class. If you found this strategy valuable, share it with one colleague who is struggling with classroom engagement. We are building a community of educators who refuse to be generic. Together, we can transform the standard of teaching, one 60-second opening at a time. Let us begin. Subscribe for more high-impact strategies that move beyond generic advice. Your classroom deserves original angles and bold positioning. Apply this 60-second rule tomorrow and report back on the results in the comments below. Let's make every minute count, starting with the very first one, right now.